Hi, it's Dr. William. You want your hip dips filled in and you want voluptuous hips? It may be possible. Watch this video and I'll show you if it's possible. Hi, it's Dr. William. I just want to clarify a few things. And actually, I have a patient, she's really nice to let us film, and she actually mentioned to me that she was a little bit confused in the video as well. And so one question that she asked, which is really common, is, can I get hips? I want to get hips. Well, as you know, it depends on how much soil that you have. And so for patients that have low soil, and she's got low soil, which just means she doesn't have really any fat here, we're right on bone. So it's very hard for me to put fat in here because it just won't stretch out and there's not much soil here for that fat to grow and take. But, and I think here's where the confusion comes from, that doesn't mean she's not going to have hips to some degree. And this is where it's a little bit gray. This is what I want to clear up. So, first of all, let me just do some marking like I kind of normally will do the marking. Okay, I have to do that so I can show you all of these areas. Remember, the lipo for the OG starts up high. It's high in the back. Here's her arm. That's her deltoid. So it starts up high in the back. So I always mark all of that. We're going to lipo all of this. Lipo all of this. And then this. Don't move at all. Okay. And then this is the key area here. Why do I call it key? Because it's key, in my opinion. This is the key area. This is the shading here. It's key to me because this really starts the rounding of the butt. So I've got to get rid of this key area. This is the love handle. Really, from here to here is the love handle. So I always say a winning combination is to have a small waist, which she has, and a large love handle, because that makes a big difference when you remove this love handle and you reveal the small waist. But you have to get lipo in the key area in order to round out the butt. So let me just mark her key area here. So this part here is the key area, right in here. And then this part here, it would be more considered the love handle. They go into each other, obviously. But now what we're talking about here is hip dips versus the hip. So the hip dip is, remember, comes all the way back. So when I start filling her hip dip, do you want me to just have you turn just a tiny bit here? When I start filling her hip dip, I'm starting back right from here all the way forward to fill this hip dip. And I'm going to fill all the way out. Okay? So if you look at it from behind, you're going to see that hip dip is filled in. It's going to be much rounder with lipo through the key area. That's going to be rounded. Then I'm going to fill this in. So now this is going to be rounded. Now, the difference is I'm able to fill her hip dip in here because she's soft, and this is all going to expand. The trouble comes in when you keep moving forward and you come out to this point of maximal projection. I would like for this to be able to pop out more, but in order for me to get this to pop out more, I need more soil here, and she just doesn't have the soil. So I'll still be able to fill the hip dip in till about here. I'll still be able to bring that point of maximal projection out. It's just that she's going to be a little bit flatter through here, and I'm going to show you in the operating room. She's going to be a little bit flatter through here because of the low soil. Now the other thing that's interesting, and that she has, and she asked me about them, but this is really important, and not everyone has this, and that's why every single person is different, but she's got some fat here, which is great. We want to take advantage of this fat because as we come up the leg, this starts coming out, and that's going to help with that convex part of the OG coming into this concave part of the OG. So we're going to take advantage of this fat. We're going to keep it. I'm actually going to blend some of this fat so it comes up and then it starts coming out. I'm going to blend it a little bit better so it's just a smooth line. I'm going to add to this fat too, and fill in back here, I'm going to add to this because this is going to blend in nicely with the fat that I placed in her hip dip. So while we're not, if she had good soil here, I would actually bring this all the way up. And so I would graft all throughout here, and I would blend it with all of that. And so that would be a very voluptuous hip. But just because she's low soil from here over, I won't get that. But that doesn't mean we can't get the hip dip filled, can't take advantage of this fat that she has here and blend this into the hip dip. All right, so now we finished up here, and this is the difference between the hip dips and the hips, remember. So she had tight soil here. So if you come and look from above here, you're gonna see that all of this hip dip is filled in. So this is all nice and full, and it really looks nice, and she's very round. She's got a really good projection, nice round shape. Remember, she had this fat pad here. I've been able to blend that into the leg. So I've been able to get this line to come all the way up, blend in here, and now get this really nice OG shape. Remember, this was the key area. Look at how that's all nicely taken down. Remember, that's the key area because that rounds the upper part of the buttock. But she's still going to be a little bit flat over here, and this is why I'm saying she's not going to have these voluptuous hips because she's a little bit flat over here, a little bit low soil. So that's always going to be a little bit flatter in there. But because I'm able to fill the hip dip, because she had good soil here, I'm able to still get roundness. Okay, so here's an example of where I can fill in the hip dips, okay, and also get hips. Why can I get hips? Because, I'm going to just turn a little bit here, because she's very soft. So, the hip dip is coming out all the way here, and all the way here. That'll all be filled. But when we get to the point of maximal projection, what we find is it's really soft here. And there's lots of soil. So she's got some fat here. She's got a good start to her hip with this fat here. I'm going to blend into the leg, but I'm going to be able to really carry this out. So rather than what I just showed you being flat here, this is going to be able to come out. And so we're going to get a really nice hip. Obviously, I'm going to lipo all through the key area, so that's going to get rid of that, and then we're going to build the hip up using this nice soil. So here's an example where I can fill the hip dips and get a voluptuous hip at the same time. So I can fill her hip dip and get a voluptuous hip at the same time. So come over here and take a look. This side is completely ejected, okay? So she's got all of her hip dip, all of this, all filled in. Nice and full here, but she's also has a really full hip here. So the key area has been taken down, so that's rounded that out. But now look at her hip. So she's got a lot of fat here in her hip. I was able to blend that fatty deposit down to her leg and then all the way up into her hip. So she has a really nice full round hip. And then what I've done on this side, just to kind of show you, is I filled her hip dip in. So her hip dip is now filled, but I haven't filled this point of maximal projection. I haven't filled that yet. So I wanted to show you the difference. This side filled with fat in the hip dip and the hip. And this side is just filled in the hip dip. So now you see, look at how flat she is here compared to this side. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to fill this hip, and then we'll show you. Okay, so now I've gone ahead and I've filled in the hip. So just come over here and take a look. So key area is lipoed, so that's gets nice and round. But now look at how full that hip is. Remember how hollow this was? This is all full now, and I filled a lot of fat in here too, because she had this natural nice fat deposit here. So look at this line now. It's just all about that line. Beautiful OG. And so that's the difference. Hip dips and hips, and really pretty shape if you look at both of them together. Just gorgeous. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, then please subscribe to my channel and turn on the little bell so you get notified of upcoming videos. I make videos every week talking about plastic surgery, not just going through the before and afters, but I want to educate you. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.